Welcome, neighbors. Today we're going to take a look at barbecuing some chicken thighs on a Weber Kettle Grill. So first we're going to want to season these up. I've washed and dried out these chicken thighs. Let's put on a little bit of olive oil and then sprinkle with your favorite rub. I'm using a Montreal chicken rub. Apply it in, mix it around, make sure you get a good coating. Both sides of the chicken. You want to take care to try to leave the skins intact for this during this process. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get the grill set up. I've got the charcoal briquettes heating in the chimney. They're all warm and ready to go. They're glowing red and gray. We're going to set the kettle grill up for an indirect grilling method. In other words, one half of the grill will be hot and the other half of the grill will be cooler in an area where we can allow the chicken to bake. So we put the briquettes in, spread them out on a fairly even layer, covering half the base of the grill to make our hot zone. And we'll go ahead and place the grill back on, getting ready to cook. So with chicken, what we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to sear both sides of the chicken thighs. But as soon as you put the chicken over top of those hot coals, they're going to start to cook and flare up pretty quickly between the olive oil and the skin. So what I like to do is I like to go ahead and get them set up on the cooler zone. I'll lay them all out, that way they're all ready to go before I move them on to the hot zone of the grill. So we'll make room, fitting them on one half of the grill. Now a technique that I like to use here is to put some barbecue sauce in underneath the skin. You can use whatever barbecue sauce you enjoy. Now, this is a homemade variety that's in this squeeze bottle, but one thing you do want to be careful of is that you don't contaminate the bottle with the raw chicken. So I'm taking care here not to contact the chicken with the tip of the bottle. So we'll go ahead, get the barbecue sauce, put in underneath the skin of all the thighs. So now what we're going to want to do is move these over onto the hot coals and get them seared on both sides. I like to use my barbecue hook and actually rotate the entire grill, kind of lifting when it gets snagged up and twisted around. That way now we've quickly moved them all over the hot grills at the same time and they're starting to sear. Now the biggest thing you're going to need to watch for here is this will start to flare up fairly quickly. If you don't pay close attention to these thighs while they're over the hot coals like this, the exterior skin or the bottom sides will burn very, very quickly. So you got to pay attention here. What we're going to end up doing is searing them on each side for, I don't know, 2-3 minutes or so. Depends entirely on how hot your coals are and how close the chicken is to the coals. But you basically want to build up a sear, but you don't want to char them or burn them. So as you can see, they start to flare pretty quickly. So keep an eye. Feel free to move them around. I do really enjoy using this barbecue hook when I'm doing chicken thighs like this. It allows me to grab them and manipulate them around pretty quickly and easily. I'll go ahead and add a link to an affiliate link to eBay to where you can buy these hooks down in the description along with some of the other items that you see us use in these videos. So I'm just moving the chicken around, trying to make sure that we're not getting any charring happening, moving them out of the way, evaluating how seared they are. These look like now after a couple of minutes they're ready to sear on the other side. Now you really need to pay attention now, because now we've got these now, flipping them over so that they're skin side down, which will release a lot of fat and cause a lot of flare-ups. So but we do want to crisp these sides. So let's go ahead, get them flipped over, and manage them over top of these hot coals. Feel free to move them around. You know, this is a fine dance. You do want to let them sit and sear for a little bit. You don't want to move them too often, but you certainly don't want them to burn and get charred on the outside. And as you can see, with the skin side down, you do get a lot more flare-ups. Yes, you can manage flare-ups by closing the lid. That will help remove some of the oxygen going to the flames, help reduce those flare-ups. But this is such a fast process with the searing that I prefer just to move the chicken out of the way, get them off the flare-ups. The flare-ups will die down quickly. As you can see, I had just rotated the entire grill, moved the whole grill full of chicken out of the danger, moved the stuff that wasn't over top the direct coals on top, and just keep them moving. The trick here is to get them as seared as much as you can without burning them. And as you can see, if you were to walk away from your grill for more than a couple of minutes, you'd quickly have a lot of charring to deal with. So pay attention, keep those chickens moving. So these look now that they're seared enough. So I'm going to go ahead and flip them over, put them skin side up on the cooler zone of the grill, getting prepared to basically bake these chicken thighs for the rest of the time. We're going to, so we've been searing these for about 2 or 3 minutes on each side. We're going to cook them probably a total of about 35-40 minutes or so. Once again, depending on the overall heat of the grill, how hot your coals are, how much airflow you've got. But basically what I'm doing is I want to smoke these, or add some smoke flavor to it. So I'm going to go ahead and get some chunks of apple wood. You'll find that fruit woods, any of the fruit woods go very well with chicken and pork and things like that. I certainly use just a plain, some larger chunks of apple wood. I don't soak these. They're not little chips, they're little wood chunks. So we've gone ahead and put them through the grate on top of the coals so that they can provide the smoke. Setting up these thighs for a long bake on the cooler side of the grill. So we'll go ahead and close it off. We'll make sure that all our vents are wide open. And as you can see, I position the vents, the open top vents, above the food on the cooler side of the grill and away from the heat. That way it draws the heat through and the smoke through over top of the food. Okay, we've let those cook for about 20 minutes. We're going to check the temperature. At this point, we're just shooting for about, somewhere in the neighborhood around 130 degrees. Chicken needs to be cooked to at least 165 degrees, but I'm going to be flipping these over. So I've checked them for temperature. They seem to be moving along well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn them over, put them back skin side down onto the grill. You can see that one of those wood chunks is still burning away there, providing some nice clean smoke. However, at this point, the chicken really won't be picking up that much more smoke flavor. So I'll go ahead and apply the barbecue sauce. This is a homemade barbecue sauce, primarily ketchup, apple cider vinegar, white vinegar, brown sugar, some cumin, some chili powder, some coarse black pepper, and some kosher salt. We make this up. It stays good in the fridge for about a month or so. So we'll cover the undersides, making sure they're coated fully, and we'll go ahead and cook these with skin side down, basically baking them for about another 10 minutes or so. Once again, it's more about temperatures than time. So another 10 minutes have come by. We'll go ahead and flip them over once again. They're starting to look and smell pretty good at this point. And once again, we'll apply the homemade barbecue sauce. But once again, whatever barbecue sauce you enjoy, you like, go ahead and use that. If it's up to room temperature, so if it's a commercial one, it'll flow a little bit easier. Either way, I use a little silicone brush to spread it out, so we're making sure that we get the barbecue sauce over the entire chicken thigh. And then once coated, we'll put them back maybe for another 10 minutes or so, getting ready for our final checks for temperature. All right, so that time has gone by. We'll get the instant read thermometer. Once again, you're looking for at least 165 degrees. Make sure you're not contacting the bone inside the chicken, and you're in the fleshier part of the thigh, and that'll give you a more accurate reading. Personally, I like to run it up to closer to 170 to make sure that it's cooked close to the bone. So these look like they're all ready to go. So we'll go ahead and pull them off the grill. I've washed my barbecue hook partway through the process, between when it was cooked and when the chicken was raw. You want to be careful not to cross-contaminate. If you're using tongs to lift these on and put them off, make sure that you either use different tongs or you wash them thoroughly. You definitely don't want cross-contamination between the chicken when it was raw and when it was cooked. So that's it. These thighs are ready to go. They smell good. They're certainly going to taste good. But I still have some hot coals here on the grill. And what I like to do, whenever I've got some hot coals left over, I go ahead and grab some sausages or some hot dogs, throw them on there, cook them up, throw them in the fridge for the family to grab some later when they want. And that way it's not a good waste of stuff. So with that, I want to thank you for your watching these videos. We're a small channel. Every single subscription is very important to us. So if you like what you see, please subscribe. And remember to get out there, grill, learn from your mistakes, but have fun.